It is so good to be able to speak with you. I really miss you guys and girls so much. We're going to do a little pretend lesson, if we will, today, okay? So I'm going to pretend like you are here. You pretend that you are here too, all right? So you better be ready to raise those hands. All right, let's start with reviewing. When we have zeros in the minuend, that's our top number. Remember, we can't borrow from zeros, so we're going to have to go skip, hop, and jump all the way over to our thousands place in this case. Cross out our 5, make it a 4. Then we'll cross out the 0 right next to it, make that a 10. Cross out that 10, make it a 9. Stay with me. Now we make this a 0, cross it out, make it a 10, make it a 9. Now we're over to the ones place where we were intended to go. So we'll cross out that 0, make that a 10. Now we can say 10 minus 5 for our ones place is going to be 5. 9 minus 2 is 7 for our tens place. 9 minus 6 is 3 for our hundreds place. And then we have 4 minus 2 for our thousands place. So our final answer is 2,375. Now, let's move over here. A quick review. You will be working with multiplication twins today. Remember, all that means is your factors aren't the same, they're just flipped. That's all it means. That's the only difference. Your answer, the product, stays exactly the same. And you'll remember that from our chart up here as well. Everything you need is right there. Now, one thing we're going to talk about today very quickly is the division tables with the twos. If you remember, I gave you a hint last week when we barely introduced this, and I told you that if you remember your doubles, 9 plus 9 equals 18, 5 plus 5 equals 10. If you remember your doubles, then that will help you a lot when you divide by 2. Because all you're doing when you divide by 2 is you're finding half of your large number. So, 8 divided by 2 in this case, as you remember from our chart last week, is going to be 4 because 4 is 1/2 of 8. This is another way we talked about how to write it. If you remember, I told you that the number in the, if you said box, then you're thinking correctly. That is the way I say it. 8 divided by 2, the answer, the quotient, goes above it in this case. All right, that should help you with some of your arithmetic for today. Now let's quickly move on to phonics and language. So I wanted to review the different kinds of sentences because those are some really big things we've been dealing with lately, with sentences and things like that. So you'll remember that the interrogative sentences is whenever you are asking a question. So it ends in a question mark. That would be like, how are you today? Then we have declarative sentences. That's what the majority of our sentences are. Remember, they end in a period, right? And a period. So that tells us it's just any other kind of sentence, a regular sentence, just making a statement. Then we have an exclamatory sentence with an exclamation mark like, wow, what a beautiful day. And then we have imperative sentence. That's when you make a command. Shut the door, please. And you would end it with a period more often than not. One other quick thing you're talking about in your phonics and language today is the difference between using a or an. That's something we've not been doing a whole lot of. It's a little bit new. The main thing to keep in mind is if you have a vowel, remember our vowels are A, E, I, O, and U, then you're going to use the word an right before you write that word, like an apple, an elephant, and so on and so forth. Any other word, we call those consonants, then that's what you will use an A with. A car, a bottle, whatever it may be, things of that nature. All right, one other quick little thing I want to mention. Make sure when you are doing your reading that you are reading slowly. Some of my fast readers are trying to be speed readers, and then you slow down. Make sure you are catching the punctuation, you're pausing at punctuation. And then the other thing I want to mention is that you need to write neatly. Because I know some of us get in such a rush, and you're like, oh, I know this is the easiest stuff in the world. But just because it's easy doesn't mean it doesn't have to be neat. So make sure you're working on that, and I want you to remember these two things. I know that this is hard, but I want you to continue to work hard like I know you are already, and know that you are loved. Have a wonderful day.